So first, Preston, thank you for sitting down with me and talking with me, and congratulations on being Special Teams Player of the Week last week.
Thank you.
So I've known you for a really long time, and as long as I've known you, you've been a soccer player. So what kind of made you want to start playing football?
So it's probably back to 7th grade. I was really debatable if I should play football or not. And one thing that set me off was my dad. He knows the guy. He actually kicked for the Texas Longhorns, Dustin Johnson, or I think it's Dustin Johnson. I don't know. But we were at dinner one night, and I was talking to them about kicking. He's like, "Yeah, you should kick, like just for fun, 7th grade, see how it is." So we had tryouts because they all said, "If you play soccer, come kick." So I was like, "All right." So a bunch of us kicked, and I actually ended up kicking the ball pretty well. And so from then on, I just kind of gradually grew into it.
So how do you have to change your mindset from when you play soccer and when you play football?
So it's more in soccer. I've been playing soccer my entire life, so it's kind of like natural for me. So like I don't have to be as prepared for soccer because it's just what I love to do mostly. I love kicking, but soccer's just always been like my number one. So kicking, it's more of a mindset than it is, because if you get into your head, then you'll just start messing up, which is a big deal for all kickers. And it goes from NFL to high school. If you're a head case, then there's no point in kicking because mind games will start going through your head, and it just goes downhill from there.
So talking about mind games, do you have any like particular superstitions you have before you kick, even if it's like a long attempt or maybe an onside kick or something that's not traditional?
I just would say just go out there, and what I usually like to do is just make every kick the same. So if it's PAT, and then let's say PAT, and then you go back and say like my 44 against them, you gotta make every single kick the exact same. Don't do anything different from what you do, because if you try to hit the ball too hard, you're gonna shank it or you're gonna mishit it. I don't know if you saw last week, I kind of mishit a ball on a kickoff, which turned out to look like a squib. It's because I was trying to hit the ball too hard than I was supposed to. So it just is really, you gotta stick to the same thing every time, and even the slightest like difference will just throw you off big time.
So consistency. You went against one of the best kickers in district last week,
Yes.
one of the most consistent kickers. Does that add any extra pressure to you when you're standing on the sideline watching him kick?
It's actually kind of funny because I go to camps with him. His name's Gavin Marshall. He's committed to OU. He actually went to IMG last year. But I think it's more fun. It adds more fun to it because there's another kicker out there who's just as good as you are, so you have something to prove that you can hang with him. But don't get me wrong, that kid was booming the ball at least 12 yards out of the end zone. I mean, he's going to OU for a reason. So, but it's fun. I like it. It doesn't add more pressure. I think it's fun. I like it.
So during a game, do you have any like strategies on when you're kicking on kickoffs? Maybe if you want it to go out of the back of the end zone to be short so it's returnable, anything like that?
Most of the time they want me to kick it out, but I think I like to think is just aim small and miss small. So if I keep my eyes on one point of the ball the entire time when I follow through. But if let's say my eyes go somewhere else, it could mess me up. So I kind of just look at, it's like the bottom half of the ball, I just stare at that the entire way. And even when I kick it, I keep my head down so I know that I follow through, because when I get my head up, it's a kicker thing. You got to keep your head down at all times, because your head goes up, you're looking up and you're halfway through your kick and you can mishit it. But like on onsides, I'm not gonna lie, those things are kind of nervous. Like last week, a little nerve-wracking, but kind of just do the same thing. Just look at one point of the ball. Usually for onside, it's top half of the ball, so you can get that big bounce. Just kind of just look at it the entire time and just don't keep your eye off the ball.
So you're talking about your onside kick last week, which those are very rarely successful.
Yeah.
So y'all had a successful one. How do you practice for that or even prepare for it?
I practice we don't really we don't have anybody out there to probably on the defensive side. We line up and we kick it. So usually what Coach Young will tell me is there's going to be two kids right here. I have to kick it between them. But with the way Frisco was, we didn't know if they were going to put someone in the middle, and they should have, because how close we were, which actually surprised me, because when I lined up, I'm like, wow, like it surprised me. But all I have to do is I kind of let my momentum take it with me, but I kind of just hope for the best when I go out there, because it's really, like I said, just your mind that kind of goes through it, and that kick was very nerve-wracking because I kind of hit it too hard, so I had to dive for it and like scoop it in because that kid he almost got it, but luckily enough I got it. So which was a cool moment. It's probably one of my highlights of my football career so far.
So last season you not only kicked, you punted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that your kicking game has improved by not punting the ball this year and just strictly focusing on kicking?
I would say in a way, yes. Because when we go down the field, I don't have to be like, oh, I might have to. Usually, whenever we're down the field, I would punt into the net last year. But now I can just focus on kicking and not punting and kicking. But I feel like my problem last year was more, like I said earlier, my mind wasn't in the right place. It was just kind of like I would doubt myself every single time before I kick it. I'm like, and it got so bad to where I would start missing PATs because I was just every single time I kick, I was just like, I don't know about this. But now it's kind of just like go out there and have fun. I mean, if you miss a kick, it's not the best thing in the world, but I mean, NFL kickers miss field goals, so you gotta learn that if you miss, you miss. You make it. You just gotta focus on the next one.
So talking about NFL players missing field goals, one of your nicknames you've adopted over the last couple of years has been Greg the Leg. And also kicker recently. That's become a new nickname.
True.
So which one of these nicknames, or why do you like these nicknames? Which one's your favorite?
I like them because they're like they know, like even if you don't know my name, they'll be like, oh, it's the kicker. Like, oh, it's the kicker. Like even there's some coaches. I told you this before. There's some coaches that are from the middle school. They don't know me. They don't know my name. They just call me kicker, and it's kind of easy to know that they're talking to you because you're the only kicker on the team. But I like Greg the Leg. Because Greg Zerline actually is one of my favorite kickers. I mean, he had a bad week last week. Everyone has bad weeks. But
you're not offended? You don't think Greg the Leg's a bad name now?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, let's just go with he'll bounce back, hopefully. But I like Greg the Leg the most just because it's after an NFL kicker, which is really cool. So I like that a lot. But honestly, I like having nicknames. I don't know. I feel like it's cool. I mean, people like I've been watching the Quarterback Club, the guys, and they call me Greg the Leg. And it's like, oh. So it's starting to wear off. So I think it's pretty cool. It's cool to me. So I like that.
So I've ended all of my interviews with the same question. What are your predictions for this season, Preston?
I think we'll go to playoffs. We gotta go. The biggest game I think down the road for us this week's a big game against Lebanon. We need to win. Liberty is going to be a big game. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard one, but I feel like we can pull it off. And honestly, I feel like with the way it goes, our biggest game will be when we go up to Denison. They're a good team, but like last year, we always seem to kind of keep up with them. Except for my sophomore year, which was when I talked about that, but we always seem to keep up with them. Last year we had them first half. We just gotta learn how to. I think we gotta learn how to finish games. We start off really good. Like last week we started off really good, but we just gotta finish off games. But I think we'll make playoffs, and then probably end up drawing like Ennis on the other district. But I think we'll make playoffs. I'd love to make playoffs. Football would be.
So you want to go far in the playoffs. You want to win a lot of games this season. A lot of people don't think that kickers are super essential to a team and to a win. How important do you think your role is?
I think it's
talking about playoffs and everything.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's very important because, like an example, a Cowboys Buccaneers game, Greg Zerline makes those kicks, y'all win the game, which is pretty crazy to think. There's like Coach McAfee says, you don't know when it's going to happen, but there's always going to be one play that's going to determine the game, or it's going to be a big momentum shift. I feel like a lot of those have to do on special teams, maybe not so much like field goals. It could be a kickoff. You kick the ball off. You don't cover down the field. I feel like I don't know. It's just kicking is a big part of football in many ways. Easy points, like you get a 1 point every time. You're inside the 30. You get 3 points. I mean, you got to make those as a kicker. But I feel like it's very important. It's just another way to get points on the board. So.
Yeah, for sure. So Preston, thank you for sitting down and talking with me. I hope that you have another great game this week and continue down the road. And good luck this season.
Thank you.